on the way now. A1 from A1, Mark Reed, who's had an incredible career, to be honest with you, and we're going to be getting an exclusive play of his brand new single. Stop the show!
Stop the show!
Stop the show, Amy! Stop the show!
I tell you what, this is going to be really good. I'm looking forward to this. Should we get him in? We've got 40 seconds.
Yeah, we're in. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hello, George. Hey, AJ. How you doing? Basti? Sykesy?
Sykesy, how are you doing? Anne-Marie? Let's bring the Mark!
How you doing? Let me put a light on. It's getting dark. There we are. Hey,
You
Jay.
all right, mate?
Really nice to see you. Nice to speak to you. How's it going?
And you, mate. Welcome to the big show, friend.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Thank you. Hey, Amy. How are you? I've been listening to the show all afternoon. Loving it. Great songs. Great
Good
show.
drills. Good drills, mate. Love that.
Thank you, mate. I tell you what, I've just popped a sweeper in so we can have a little bit of a chat to you because we want to find out a little bit more about what you've been up to.
Absolutely.
I mean, my goodness me, you've been a busy, busy man. So tell us all.
Oh, wow. Where do you want me to start? Well, as Jay knows himself, I'm with the band A1, and we've had to take a little time off, obviously, because, this little thing called the pandemic, and all of our gigs were cancelled, unfortunately. I'm sure you experienced a bit of that yourself. Yeah. And so being at home and adjusting to lockdown life felt like a good time to write some new songs. And yeah, so I've wrote a few songs that I've released during lockdown, and this latest one, I hadn't planned on releasing it, but it felt like such a perfect time as the theatres and music venues around the world were starting to open up again. So yeah, so Stop the Show is just pretty much an anthem for everyone who's who wants to get back out on stage and celebrating that things are slowly getting back to normal.
Yeah, it's so poignant, mate. It's so poignant, and do you know what? There was a moment, within lockdown that all the musicians and lots of different writers were like, do you know what? Okay, cool. This is how it is. Let's get in the studio and let's just express. And that's right. Did you find that? I mean, that's something that you do anyway. We know that from obviously everything that you've done. But was that a positive time for you to sort of look at yourself in the studio and write? Was that a good phase for you?
It certainly was for the first so many months.
Yeah.
But I think, like a lot of people, after a certain time, I just kind of hit a bit of a wall. And I think it was that third lockdown that started around about December 26th. It was that long one, that particularly long one. And I just thought, don't like many people, I don't think I can take much more of this.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Mark, as an artist, I mean, I'll make the presumption, surely you draw a lot of your influence from being with people and listening to them and what's going on with them and how that affects you. So I can imagine that was really tough trying to, I don't know, keep the music mojo happening.
Absolutely. I mean, we were very fortunate. I mean, obviously live performance is our lifeblood. But we were very fortunate to still be able to do some online shows. So it's amazing how quickly, you adjust to the new technologies. All of a sudden we're doing shows on Zoom and things like that. I never imagined we would be doing things like that, as I'm sure nobody did. But fortunately, it was great that our fans still came to watch us do these shows online, but it's not the same. Obviously, it's not the same as getting out there. And we've got our first gigs back in August, I believe. So looking forward to getting back out on the road and seeing some people. I actually had a rehearsal for a gig I'm doing in July with a band fronted by a man by the name of Kenny Jones, who was the drummer for the Small Faces, the Faces. He also replaced Keith Moon in the Who. So he's a bit of a British rock and roll legend. And so I'm doing a gig with his band in July, and we did rehearsals the other day, and it felt weird being around people and playing again. You're kind of like, you don't know whether to go on.
Did it feel wrong in a way? Did it feel a bit like, are we supposed to be doing this?
Yeah, I mean, you're like, hug, no, elbow. Yeah, we'll go with the elbow still. We're still doing the elbow. But, you could see that all of us were just itching to play and raring to play and playing really loud and just enjoying it. And I know it'll be exactly the same when the A1 boys get back out on the road again. Slightly different with them because then we've got to learn dance moves again. So very different kind of thing. You doing a few moves, Jay, with your band?
Oh, come on now. Yeah.
I think, you know what, the crowds are going to be so ready to hear you guys. I think this is the exciting thing for you guys, for you, Jay, for you, Mark, like being able to be back amongst your fans. Everybody is just going to be so happy. So, you know, I think the celebration is going to be massive. It should be a good party, I think.
I think it will be. I think there's going to be gigs pretty much every day because there's a massive backlog of all these bands that need to reschedule. So I think we're going to be going to see the gigs every single night of the week. So it's a great time for live music, hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Mate, we're going to go on air in 25 seconds and we'll just chat to you pretty much about what we've been talking about, mate. And then we're going to be playing Stop the Show. All right, bud.
Awesome. Thank you.
Go, mate.
Here we go, mate. I'll back on you set up. Can't wait for live music. I hear you. Here we go, guys. Christina Aguilera is Dirty BFBS, the Forces Station. We are live around the Forces world, across the UK on DAB Plus and FM, and of course over on the gram. I'm very excited with our next guest.
Yeah, he's absolutely superb. From Brit Award-winning A1, singer-songwriter, the legend is Mark Reed. How you doing, Mark?
Hello, good evening, Jay. Good evening, Amy. Lovely to speak to you. And hello, everyone listening. A big shout out to all the armed forces and everyone that's taking care of us and the men and the women out there. So thank you for what you do.
What an intro. Love that, Mark.
That's how it's done. That's how it's
Good
done.
man.
Mark, it is such a pleasure to welcome you to BFBS. You've been working so hard throughout the pandemic. So let's have a little bit of a chat about that.
Sure. Well, like many musicians and artists, we all of a sudden found ourselves with all of our upcoming gigs completely cancelled, which is a bit of an adjustment. And had a bit of a creative boom during the first...
We're currently on Instagram Live. We've got a couple of signal problems. We've got your back, Mark. We've got you.
I can only blame the rotten internet I've got around here. So where was I? Yes, had a bit of a creative boom during the lockdown, which was fantastic. I wrote a few songs I've released whilst A1 have not been able to get out on the road. We actually started writing a new album like years ago now, but we haven't been able to finish it because we've not been able to get together. So I've put a few songs out just to stay connected with the fans, which has been really nice, which has kind of culminated with the latest song, which is called Stop the Show, which is really my celebration to everybody that's just itching to get back out on stage, everybody that's just missed live music, and that's what Stop the Show is all about for me.
Mate, it's superb. We're just going to brag on you a little bit because obviously, not just only the A1 that we know you from, obviously you've been involved in writing with and for many different people over the years. I'm just going to read out a few people: Rick Astley, John Barrowman, we've got Charlotte Church, Jarvis Cocker, and the thing is, I mentioned this on IG Live, during the pandemic period, for a lot of creators, a lot of artists and musicians, it felt slightly different going into the studio, from one day to the next. Did you find that almost a better creative situation, or was it kind of, this is a normal thing?
Well, for writers and producers, you actually spend a lot of time at home in front of a computer screen anyway. So it was a slight adjustment in the sense that, not being when you're in the room with somebody and you're writing with somebody, you can really bounce off each other. So it's a lot more instant. But yeah, we've just had to adjust really. And it's been great because I've still been writing with people all over the world via Zoom and stuff. And as I was mentioning to you before, when we were chatting, we've been able to do some live online, like virtual concerts, like many bands have done. And that's been a real kind of, lifeline for us. And the fans really are the, the lifeblood of us and what we do. And we really appreciate them joining us for those virtual live concerts. I think A1 did about four or five of those, and they're absolutely brilliant. Nice way to speak with people from all over the world. And it's also just bonkers because you've got hundreds of screens on Zoom and everybody from all over the world watching you live. And who would have imagined that was what live music was going to be like for a while? Yeah. But fortunately, I think the live concerts, the virtual concerts, are coming to an end now. So back to live music.
Well, hopefully that's the case. You've got a new track for us today, and it's part of a trilogy of songs that you've released. Tell us a little bit about Stop the Show then. When did this happen? During lockdown?
Right. Yeah, well, I started writing this song before lockdown, but I actually completed it when I saw what was going on with the theatres being closed and what a challenging time it was for so many people. And I've actually managed to collaborate with Acting for Others to make sure that, you know, this single supports the charity Acting for Others, which is a great organization. Along with their partners, have been raising lots of money for actors that have been out of work and theatres. It's not just actors and performers, it's obviously a lot of the people behind the scenes working at theatres. And it'd be really sad to see, you know, some theatres closing down, but I think we're going to be seeing the effects of this lockdown for some time to come. So I just want to, as a performer, I just want to do whatever I can to kind of keep those theatre doors open. And because live music, as I've said before, it's the lifeblood of what we do, and it's so important, you know, and that is what the actual sentiment of the song is. You can't stop the show. I didn't want to call it "You Can't Stop the Show" because I thought that sounds a little bit similar to "You Can't Stop the Beat." So I just went with "Stop the Show." But it's not "Stop the Show." I don't want to stop the show. It's
Don't stop the show, everyone.
No, it's like the show must go on.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I mean, okay, so as we start to come out of lockdown and hopefully restrictions start to ease, I tell you what, for artists like yourself, for like our Jay, it's going to be such a party when we can get back to live music. I think, you know, everyone is going to be so ready to have a bit of a knees up. It's been so long. It must be very exciting to think about that.
Are we allowed to kick our knees up yet? I don't know if that's got to be allowed, hasn't it? We're not allowed to sing yet,
but we're getting there. We're getting closer to the day.
Yes, can't wait for that. Absolutely can't wait for that. And as I mentioned before, A1 are going to be on a festival in I think it's in September. Big 90s noughties pop festival. Looking forward to that. I should have all these dates up here, and then also we're going to be on tour called the A Game Tour, but you can find all that stuff online. People are so savvy these days. They know where you're going to be. They know where I'm going to be before I do.
Right, that's right. I tell you what, we always do our famous forces question. That is, Mark, if we said to you, you've got to join in the military now, right? You've got to be in one. Would it be the Navy, the Army, or the Air Force?
Navy.
Come on, Navy!
I've got good sea legs. I definitely Navy.
Well, that puts you in better place than our Jay James. I can tell you that he's a Navy veteran. Listen, let me just tell you. Can I tell him?
Go on then.
All right. Just what you know. Obviously, it's only a live radio broadcast, but he gets seasick now. Mark.
I get really bad seasickness.
Right.
Mark,
why do you think that is?
Is
Just from years away? Is that what it is? Or
I don't know what it is. I've spent years on board Her Majesty's Finest, and I don't know. I just get seasick now. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Mark, but we, of course, it's Armed Forces Week this week, Armed Forces Day tomorrow.
Yes.
And Mark, have you got a message for all of our armed forces, their families, veterans listening all around the world?
Yeah, absolutely. Just enjoy Armed Forces Week and the weekend. It's going to be a beautiful day, I'm sure. Thinking of everyone, and yes, thanks again for all that you do, the men and women of the armed forces, and yeah, really appreciate you. And yeah, I hope one day, whether it's with A1 or with another band, I get to do some gigs for you. That would be fantastic.
Oh, I'd love that. That would be brilliant. Mark, it has been such a pleasure to speak to you. Will you do us the great honour of introducing your new single, please?
Absolutely. It's been great talking with you, and thanks to everyone who's joined us. And here it is. This is, I'm going to call it its full title, You Can't Stop the Show, because you can't. And here it is, Stop the Show.
Yeah.
Good man, Mark.
Well done, Mark. That was great.
Top boy, mate. That was awesome.
Thank you. So I was a little bit nervous because of the signal. I know it's shocking around here.
No, it was all right.
Held out.
Yeah, mate, it was absolutely fine. We held out. We just had a little moment, and it was perfect. So that was really great.
That's why I was talking at like the speed of light, like that, because I'm thinking I've got to get it in whilst we've got signal.
I'd say it's not his first rodeo, is it?
No, not at all, mate. Not at all.
But thank you so much for having me, and have I'll keep listening to the rest of the show, but have a great rest of the show.
Wicked. Look, Mark, I mean, we couldn't finish without seeing what is that over on the right hand shoulder?
Do you know what, right? It's shameless, isn't it? It doesn't even normally go there. Blatantly just put it there because you mentioned in your Brit Award winner, and I'm like, yeah, well, you've got to put it there, haven't you? It's just a little paperweight I've got. Yeah. It's normally in the toilet. But no, not really. It's fantastic. It's fantastic, and I'll always be very grateful for that. It was brilliant.
Mate, you got to win them and wear them, Mark. God, I'd carry
Absolutely.
my phone with me.
Absolutely. Oh man, nice one, nice one. Are you getting back out on the road? You got some gigs coming up?
Yeah, we've actually got a couple of gigs next weekend, which is good.
Nice.
They're going to be an outdoor thing. And then, we got the tour. We got the UK tour in November and December. So we're looking forward to it, mate. So
Fantastic. Are these your first gigs back next week?
Are, yeah. Yeah, they
Nice
are.
one,
We've done a
nice
couple of
one.
virtual ones as well, which is really cool. But
Brilliant.
like you, mate, we're just itching to get back out on the road. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so you're November, December. We're September, October. So everybody can come see us first, and then come and see you guys. That'd be fantastic.
That's it. Hey, that's the dream. I tell you what, I did a bit of writing with Ben.
Oh yeah,
at the beginning of last year, actually, we did some writing together. So, mate, we'll have to hook up and do some writing together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now we can write over the Zoom. We can write, but we can catch up now. So, absolutely, that would be fantastic.
Well, you'll have to come back on the show at some point, Mark, and give us an update. Then maybe before you head out on tour.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. Absolutely, that would be great. That would coincide perfectly with the tour. Get all the guys. Let's get us all in one room together, or we'll come and join you there. That'd be lovely.
Top man. Top boy.
Thank you so much.
Nice one, Mark. Thank you.
Really good to see you.
Take it easy.
Night, everyone. Cheers.
Bye,
have a great weekend. Bye.
What a lovely guy.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome,
So
lads.
cool.
Mark Reid, his new song, Stop the Show, is out now. And, of course, it's on the radio. DAB+. Come and listen to